Hello everyone, this is Sriman and welcome to Genius Mathematics. In this video, we will see how to solve linear equations in two variables. First, we will see what does this mean. What does linear equations in two variables mean? Now we will break down this into what does linear mean, what does equation mean, what does variable mean. So linear denotes anything that has greatest power of 1. Let's say we have equation 2x plus 1. This is a linear equation because the highest power was 1. Let's say we have x square plus x. This is not a linear equation because the highest power is 2, which means this is a quadratic equation. So the highest power in that equation must be 1. Or we can say instead of highest power, we can say degree. Now what does an equation mean? An equation means something that has some variables or constants in one side and an equal in the middle and some constant or variable in the other side. So that's what equation means. Now variables are the letters or the alphabets that are substituted instead of a number, or we can say unknown. So this is what these mean. Now if we combine all these, we will get linear equations in two variables. For example, let's take the equation 2x minus 1 equals 3. This is a linear equation in two variables. Or this is a linear equation in one variable because it has only one variable, that is x. This is a linear equation because the highest power is 1. This is an equation because it has equal and two sides have numbers or variables. And it has a variable. But what if you have two variables? For example, 2x plus y equals 1. This is what linear equation in two variable means because it has two variables in it. Now the next thing is there are three cases there are three cases for solving a linear equation in two variables. One is a normal solution we'll get. The next thing is we may not get any solution. The next thing is it may have infinite number of solutions. These are the three cases we have. And the basic thing for solving a linear equation in two variables is there must be two equations for solving an equation in two variables. Now let's say we have 2x plus y equals 3. We can put any value for x. If we put a value for x, then we can just solve the equation to get the value of y. So we cannot have a single solution for this. But if we have two equations like this, then we can solve this for a single solution. So that is why this linear equation in two variables needs two equations, two different equations. Now we'll have some examples. The first one is 10x plus 4y equals 3 minus x plus 5y equals 2. Here we have two equations. First we will solve. The basic thing is we have to cancel one of these variables. We can either cancel x or the y terms. If we do that, then we will have a linear equation in one variable which is very easy to solve. So that is what the motto of this is. So if we have to cancel both this equation, then the coefficient of the x term or the y term must be same. We can do easily with this. 10x plus 4y equals 3. Just taking this equation. Now what we do with this equation is we have to multiply this equation with 10. Why do we do that? Because 50y equals 20. If we have an equation, two equations like this, we can add both the equations and we can cancel this. 10x minus 10x becomes 0. And here we have 54 plus 54y because we are adding. Here we have 23. Yes, here we have 23. So the answer for y is 23 by 54. If we substitute this value in this, we can find the answer for x. Now 10x, we can take any of these two equations. 4 of 23 by 54 equals 3. In 2 table we have 27. So 10x plus multiply this 46 by 27 equals 3. So multiply this 27 on both sides. 270x plus 46 equals 27 times 3 is 81. So 270x equals 81 minus 46, which will be 35. So x is 35 by 270. Dividing with 5, 7 by 54. The answer for x is 7 by 54 and for y it is 23 by 54. How do we write the answer is, we have to write in ordered pairs. 7 by 54, comma 23 by 54. This is the answer for this question. So that's one way to solve linear equations in two variables. To check if your answer is correct, you can just substitute the answers in the other equation. Now minus 7 by 54 plus 5 times 23 by 54. We do not know if this equals. So minus 7 by 54 plus 23 times 5 is 15, 1. So 115 by 54. We have to check if this is equal to 2. So 115 minus 7 gives 108. So 108 by 54 equals 2. So our answer is correct. So that's how we'll check. And we need to write in this format where the first one is the answer for x and the next one is the answer for y. Now we'll do some simple equations. Next problem is, let's take x plus 2y equals 3 and 3x plus 2y equals 1. So this we will do with another method. So from this equation I am going to write 2y equals 3 minus x, just taking this x to the other side. From this equation I will take 2y equals 1 minus 3x. Now the values in the left side of the equal sign are the same. So this must be same too. So we get 2 minus x equals 1 minus 3x. Now this has become linear equation in one variable. So we can just solve this by usual method. So what we do is put plus x on both sides. So we get 3 equals, this becomes 0, 1 minus 2x. Now taking this 2x here, 2x and this 3 here equals 1 minus 3 equals minus 2. So x is minus 1. So if we put x is minus 1 in this equation, minus 1 plus 2y equals 3. 2y equals 3 plus 1, 4. Y equals 2. So how do we write this? So the answer for this equations are minus 1, comma 2. So this is the answer for this equation. Now we have seen two examples. For one of these cases, we got solution in both the equations we saw. Now an example for a case where there will be no solution. So for this, we have, let's take x plus y equals 1. That's a simple equation. And we have x plus y, or we can take minus x minus y equals minus 2. This is another equation. So if we have to solve this, we can first do just copying the first equation. Now what we can do with this is, we can divide this or multiply this with minus 1. If we do that, we get minus x minus 1 x minus y minus 1 y minus 2 times minus 1 gives 2. So if we solve this equation, let's subtract the numbers. So we have x minus x 0, y minus y 0, 1 minus 2 minus 1. But 0 does not equal minus 1, which means these two equations have no solution, because these two equations can never be true. So that is the reason these two equations have no solution. Now the last case, we have also seen no solution. Now the last case, an equation with infinite number of solutions. But how can two equations have infinite number of solutions? The thing is, let's take x plus 2y equals 4. And in other equation we can take 2x plus 4y equals 8. So what we can do with this is, we can take this equation and multiply with 2. 2x plus 4y equals 8. So this is the equation we have when we multiplied with 2. Now the second equation we can just copy. 4y equals 8. Now if we solve this, subtracting all the terms, we get 0 plus 0 equals 0. Which means any value you put for x and you substitute that here and you put for y, all the values can be a solution, which means this has infinite number of solutions. For example, what this says is these two equations are the same equation. If we multiply this equation, we get the other equation, which means these two equations are the same. Which means we have one equation in two variables, and we need to solve this. How do we solve this? Is by just x equals 4 minus 2y. So if we put y equals 0, we get x equals 4. If we put y equals 1, we get 2, 1. Which means this can have infinite number of solutions. As you put the values of y equals any number, you will get something for x, which means there are infinite numbers of values we can put for y, and all those values will have a solution for x, which means these two equations are same, which means this equation has infinite number of solutions. So that's all about linear equations in two variables. Thank you.